It's not a habit, it's cool. I feel alive. If you don't have it, you're on the other side. I'm not an addict, maybe that's a lie.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. Hey, kids.
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay?
Hasbro seems to agree with that, so in 1992 they gave G.I. Joe the Drug Elimination Force, or DEF for short, to battle the evil of drugs.
And this sub-team had a leader, BulletProof.
This figure was released in 1992 with all original body parts. I'd call this figure pretty average looking really, but it's nice enough. It does have two distinct features. First, there's a rather unique looking camo pattern. Some of the marks are in the shape of letters, while some are just random scribblings. I admit I spent far too much time looking them over to see if I could find any accidental swear words or maybe a swastika, but there's nothing there.
Then again, these symbols may be a code or something. Let me just run them through some encryption software. 42. What the hell does that mean?
The second remarkable thing about this guy is his haircut. He's really rocking the Grace Jones look, isn't he? Why, that isn't dated at all. In fact, this is one of the few G.I. Joe figures that can stand on his head. Bet you didn't know that, huh? It's harder than it looks though. I spent 10 minutes setting this up.
This is the kind of intense research I'd like my show to be known for.
Anyway, on to his accessories. It's a mix of unremarkable and stupid. His rifle is pretty standard fare, and his backpack is a little too small and thick. I would have preferred it being a bit bigger and thinner. His helmet is a bit goofy looking and comes with a detachable microphone that is, of course, extremely easy to lose. Hence why I don't have it. The helmet is made of soft plastic though, so there's no danger of it damaging the paint on his hair. That's something, I guess. Where we delve into the ridiculous is his rocket launcher. It's annoyingly big and has electronics so it lights up. This one doesn't anymore, the batteries have long since died. It looks like something you'd see if you were on drugs, not fighting against them. His second figure came out a year later, and it's pretty much the same as the first, it just has a slight but important paint variation. His secondary color and camo pattern have gone from a subdued light brown to bright frickin' yellow. A bright frickin' yellow camo pattern. Where the hell is he supposed to blend in? A lemon tree? There are two more small differences. The helmet and microphone have been glued together, so there's no more danger of losing them. Also, his missile launcher is now a solid green instead of transparent, and the light-up feature is gone, because it was too expensive, I guess. Well, I think it's time we moved on to the character of BulletProof.
Let's first take a look at the Filecards. This guy is a busy man.
Not only is he a lieutenant colonel and leader of the Drug Elimination Force, but he's also a federal marshal and an Apache pilot. That's a lot to have on your plate. Before joining the Joes, he was part of the DEA and active all over the world. His nickname, which would become his code name, BulletProof, was actually given to him by his enemies because he was in so many firefights but never once got hit.
Die, you motherfucker!
So I guess we know what happened to Jules after he started walking the earth.
Then again, considering nobody ever seems to be able to hit anybody when shooting at them, most of the Joe team could be called bulletproof. His second file card is very much like the first, with one important difference. There's no mention anymore whatsoever about drugs or the fighting thereof. Instead of being a DEA officer all over the world, he was now a field officer. Instead of drug leaders giving him his nickname, it were now Cobra criminals.
Yeah, so apparently in about a year's time, G.I. Joe had given up on the war on drugs. Or maybe they won it, I don't know.
There were actually plans to release a second wave of Drug Elimination Force toys in 1993. In fact, they did do that in Australia. But at the last minute, the sub-team was dropped in the United States and the toys folded into the regular Battle Corps line.
I guess Hasbro wasn't that committed to a drugs-free America, now was it?
Moving on, BulletProof appeared in just 2 episodes of the Deke cartoon series. And well, it was one episode really, a 2-parter. This was really common in the Deke series. The same happened with Overkill, who only appeared in 1 episode focused on him to sell his toy.
Hello, I am Captain Football Ghost. Buy my toy. Bye. Bye.
Anyway, the story from the cartoon, called The Greatest Evil, was basically a 2-episode PSA about the evils of drugs. An evil drug overlord shows up, so G.I. Joe and Cobra join forces to defeat him. Even though BulletProof is certainly in the episode, mostly to spout drug information at the viewer, the story isn't about him really. The focus is on Falcon and Duke, and to a lesser extent the Headman and one of the Crimson Guard. In the comics, BulletProof's appearances aren't that much different really. He only shows up in a couple of issues. The ones with a drug storyline, obviously. Drug dealers have moved into Broca Beach, a town that's a Cobra front, so the DEF goes in to clean them out. It's interesting though that in the end, BulletProof isn't even the one that stops the bad guys. It's actually Cobra Commander who blows up the drug kingpin with a giant frickin' laser.
So kids, the lesson to take away from all that is that only a ruthless terrorist can save you from drugs. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
So, that was BulletProof. My final thoughts? Well, the figure isn't bad, it's just okay. Somewhat bland, but nothing to get worked up about. His second figure is, well, bright yellow for some baffling reason, so it can safely be ignored. As far as the character goes, it's very clear this guy only existed to be a mouthpiece to warn kids about drugs, so there really wasn't that much more to him.
Oh, right. This guy is black.
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure how to parse this. On the one hand, you can tell they really wanted to make a positive role model here, even though we ended up just as a cardboard cutout. So it's admirable that they tried, I guess. But it can also look as being a bit condescending.
See, kids? Not all black people are addicted to drugs.
Or maybe I'm just overthinking this way too much.
Or maybe I'm just a 20-something, 30-something. Fine. Maybe I'm just a 30-something white male from Europe, so I can't really give an informed opinion about this crap. See you next week, everybody.
It's not a habit, it's cool. I feel alive. If you don't have it, you're on the other side. I'm not an addict, maybe that's a lie.
Just when I thought that I could never look any more ridiculous, well, here we are. Hope you enjoyed the show, folks.